So the first thing I wanted to share was that this intervention was incredibly helpful for me. I had previously tried to quit vaping multiple times, and I had tried gum and patches and some other tools. And this intervention in the study was the one that finally stuck for me and was hugely supportive to my quitting goals. I do think that receiving the active medication was instrumental in my success in quitting. The cravings for me were so strong in the past because of how heavily I was using nicotine. And it was really difficult to get through quitting for a long period of time. So I had quit in the past and it had only lasted maybe like a month or two. It immediately felt significantly different physically when I tried to quit with this medication. Even though I didn't know if I was receiving the placebo or not, I had a strong feeling that I had the medication because it was so noticeably easier to quit this time. So yeah, I mean, I think through this study, the negative consequences of my nicotine uses had finally felt like they were outweighing the positive benefits, which is why I signed up. But I felt like the study helped allow me to get past the most difficult withdrawal symptoms. I also think that receiving the counseling support in conjunction with the medication was really important for me. My nicotine usage came with a lot of shame, and I had been hiding it from many people in my life. So it was really relieving to be able to have a regular touch point where I could be honest and receive non judgmental support. Even just the presence of a counselor who showed up to every session was really helpful. So, yeah, just having that regular check in was really important for me. It was probably more impactful to me than any educational video or knowledge shared just to have a human to talk to. Although I did, find that information useful. I did feel like I had learned some of that and knew the negative consequences and like that, the health outcomes of vaping. I will say that I don't know if the behavioral counseling alone would have been enough for me to have a sustained quit. I'd like to think that it would have, but I had worked with a mental health provider on vaping previously and hadn't found long term success. So I really do think that the medication was probably part of it. I think that once I got past the physical cravings and withdrawal and had the accountability of the check ins later in the study, I was really set up to have the quit be sustained. So I found it really useful that the study was as long as it was. I was finally able to make decisions because of this study that were aligned with my life and my health goals. And I think that the confidence I gained by quitting helped remind me that I had gotten so far and I didn't feel a big negative impact in my life without nicotine. For me, it was a really big accomplishment to even sign up for the study and decide to accept that kind of support and seek it out. So I think that alone has carried through after the study has ended. I think now that I'm living my life without using nicotine, I'm able to benefit from all of the positive health and mental health consequences of quitting. I have more time, money, energy, and self reliance that I think I strengthened through the length of the study. Habit formation for me has always been really difficult. So even when I'm feeling motivated to make a change, it can still be really hard. So I think the combination of the social support and the medication helped me incorporate this change enough to be able to get over the more challenging initial time period while I was quitting. I think in terms of working with a counselor, I was initially a little nervous and felt that shame when I did notice that my counselor and other study staff were similar in age. I think part of it was like, oh, these are people my age who probably aren't vaping. And I think I made that assumption without really knowing. But I think after our initial few meetings, because of sort of this positive regard and lack of judgment that I received, I was mostly able to just feel really grateful for having the support. I will say that I had past experiences with older medical providers who learned that I was vaping, and those experiences really did feel more shaming and stigmatizing. So it did feel refreshing that I was working with younger people who were choosing to study substance use rather than an older doctor or mental health provider who had in the past just told me that vaping was unhealthy, which I already really intimately knew. So I do think that made a difference. I think that's it. Let me know if I can provide anything else. And once again, thank you so much. This study is something I still talk about with the people in my life. It's something I'm really proud of. And it's also just something that I'm really happy other people were able to benefit from and hopefully will benefit from in the future. So yeah, keep it up. And thanks again.